Kasi si Yusek Claire Castro, pag siya po ay nagsasalita, lagi siyang on the defensive tone. No? Sa akin, rather than showcasing the landmark achievements of this administration, the PCO is rather yo-yo or fluctuating budgeting makes it impossible to track long-term strategies. Could you kindly explain to us what new urgent mandate justified the nearly doubling of your budget in a single year?
Thank you, Your Honor, Madam Chair, and thank you for this opportunity to explain what you have described, Your Honor, as the yo-yo budget. I was informed that the budget in 2024 was significantly reduced because of the low utilization rate in 2024. Unfortunately, the budget went down after that, but based on the 2025 budget, what we are proposing right now for 2026 is really more aligned to the 2024 level and consistent with the programs that we have initiated in 2024. Plus, not to mention the fact that we are looking at a very important year for this administration next year. We are about to host the ASEAN next year, and this will require a lot of communications support from our agency and our attached agencies, and just restoring it to about the level of 2024 will enable us to cope with the responsibilities and the tasks ahead of us in 2026.
Just a follow-up question. The bulk of the increase was in PCO's maintenance and other operating expenses, which grew to 689 million. Meanwhile, PCO's 2026 performance targets for 2026, such as disseminating 3,350 new news releases, are identical to PCO's 2024 targets, despite requesting an even higher operations budget. How can PCO justify a higher budget when PCO's own targets remain stagnant? Is the PCO simply asking for more money to do the same amount of work?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, thank you for allowing us to clarify that point. We are already in representation. We've made representations already with the DBM to revise this target to accurately reflect the levels as stated in the MOE. So we are now in the process of revising those targets, increasing those targets, and coming to an agreement with the DBM on this one.
Thank you for that answer. My last question. Nakalagay po sa mandato ng PCO na ang Presidential Communications Office ang magsisilbing primary communications arm ng gobyerno. At isa sa mga pangunahing trabaho ninyo ay ilathala ang mga magagandang achievements ng ating pamahalaan. While looking at your Facebook account, wala akong masyadong makita na notable achievements sa PCO Facebook page. Ang nakikita ko lang recently, yung mga inspection ng ating Pangulo sa mga faulty flood control projects. I don't know if it's that an achievement in itself. Nakita ko rin yung libreng sakay program. I think that's quite an achievement. Pero wala akong makitang malakihan o noteworthy or notable flagship project ng ating sa ngayon. Wala akong makita. And Meron din kasi akong kakilala sa PCSO. Di naman ganun kakilala pero nakakapagkwento rin siya. Sabi niya, we hire reactors. Ang trabaho ng reactors, 100 or 200 or so reactors. Ang trabaho po nila ay magbigay ng positive reaction sa mga post ninyo, magbigay ng positibong comment sa mga posts. Yun po ang trabaho. Aside from maintaining around 76 vloggers. Is that correct?
Your Honor, if I may clarify, you mentioned PCSO or PCO?
PCO, I'm sorry.
PCO.
Meron daw kayong maintain na 200 reactors and 76 or so vloggers.
To that point, Your Honor, we don't maintain reactors and vloggers. We have organic supporters of the president who comments on our posts, but we don't retain any of those vloggers or reactors, as you may put it. Those are organic, real people commenting on our posts, commending the activities, the programs of the president, and they are by no means employed by us. Your Honor.
Taliwas po ang aking impormasyon na natanggap. Ito po ay binabayaran itong mga reactors natin ng 7,000 a month para magbigay ng magandang komento at magbigay ng magandang react. Siguro heart or like para po maganda ang traction ng ating mga posts. Kung sa tingin niyo po, Mr. Secretary, ito po ay organic, bakit po natin sila kailangan bayaran? Hindi po ba? Meron pa silang allowance sa load. Bukod po sa kanilang sweldo.
Opo, with all due respect, Your Honor, hindi po namin sila binabayaran and we can check that in the line item of our budget. Wala po kaming binabayaran na gano'n. As I said, and I will reiterate, these are organic, real people who supports the President and comments positively on the activities and programs of the President on our official channels, official platforms in social media. So wala po yun sa line item ng budget namin, Your Honor.
Kung wala po kayong binabayaran, ano po ang komposisyon ng mga job orders po at COSs na binabayaran nyo that comprises most of the personnel services?
Yes, Your Honor. For the JOs and the COS, their roles and responsibilities are clearly defined in the contracts that they signed, and we will be more than honored to furnish the committee with the JOs and the COS contracts if required, Your Honor.
Ma'am, how much time am I given left? Opo. Ito na lang po. As a way forward, Madam Chairperson, Mr. Secretary, may I kindly ask for the committee to direct the PCO in submitting to the Secretariat and my office within 5 working days the following documents. Traveling expenses, a list of all foreign and local trips, their purpose, duration, cost, and the personnel who traveled. Professional services, the names of all consultants, their terms of reference, their fees, and their specific outputs of deliverables. Advertising expenses, a list of all placements, boostings, the media outlets paid, and the cost of each campaign. And representation expenses, a detailed accounting on how the 41 million for 2024 was spent. Mr. Secretary, considering the similarity, just a manifestation, quick manifestation, other than the requirement that I gave them.
Before we move to the manifestation, just wanted to check in, Secretary Gomez, would you be comfortable providing those information within 5 working days as requested by Representative Marcoleta?
We will comply, Your Honor. Makakaasaw po kayo.
Opo. Ito naman po ay tanong, ano ko lang naman, pakiwari ko lang. Hindi po ba mas madaling depensahan ng administrasyon kung ito ay maraming mga notable achievements? mas madali siyang depensahan kaysa depensahan yung mga or labanan yung mga kritiko ng gobyerno. Kasi ang nakikita ko po, parang din, siguro, napansin ko rin kasi si Yusek Claire Castro, pag siya po ay nagsasalita, lagi siyang on the defensive tone. No? Sa akin, rather than showcasing the landmark achievements of this administration, the PCO is reduced to just defending the administration from the harsh critics. Hindi po ba mas magandang kung gagawa tayo ng maganda para sa ating bansa? Tulad ng sinabi nyo, Secretary Dave, mas magiging organic ang mga taong dedepensa sa ating Pangulo at sa ating pamahalaan kung gagalingan natin ang ating pagganap ng ating tungkulin sa ating gobyerno. So, sana naman po bukas o mamaya wala akong matanggap na PCO-sponsored attack. Dahil inaasahan ko na to. Kaya lang, mag-iingat lang po ang mga kinaukulan dahil baka kayo ay liable din sa cyber libel. So, pag-aralan nyo rin po. Yun lamang po. Sana mag-focus po kayo sa paglalahad ng mga notable achievements ng ating administrasyon rather than resulting to or resorting to attacks from our critics. Mas maganda yun na taong bayan na mismo ang dumedepensa sa ating Pangulo.
Under the strengthened mandate of Executive Order Number 16, Series of 2023, the PCO continues to serve as the primary communications arm of the Executive Department and the Office of the President, ensuring that government programs, policies, and priorities are clearly communicated truthfully and effectively to the Filipino people. Madam Chair, the budget of the Presidential Communications Office and its attached agencies is a minuscule portion of the entire budget of the national government. It barely constitutes 0.04% of the total proposed budget for 2026. But the PCO faces an enormous task, the task of keeping 116 million Filipinos accurately, properly, and constantly informed not only of what the government is doing for them, but of the numerous issues affecting their lives, their livelihood, their community, their security and well-being, and their freedoms. As I said when I assumed office only last July, a healthy democracy depends on an informed public. Access to information is a cornerstone of accountability and public trust. As Acting Secretary of the PCO, it is my policy to promote government transparency, safeguard press freedom, and defend every citizen's right to free speech and information. As such, you can expect the PCO to focus on what I call my 3 Ps minus 1, policies, programs of the President minus the politics. We will make sure that the policies and programs of the government are made known, understood, and appreciated by the Filipino people, so that the entire government can earn and keep their trust and confidence. Let me assure the committee that in spending the people's money, PCO will not count every peso, but we will make every peso count. Thank you, Madam Chair, and with your permission, we are ready to present our budget.
Go ahead, please, Secretary Gomez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for today's presentation, we will begin with the proposed budget under the National Expenditure Program, which will lay down the financial requirements of the PCO for the upcoming fiscal year. After this, we will present the accomplishments of the PCO to ensure and demonstrate to the committee that the budget entrusted to the office has been and continues to be utilized properly, responsibly, and effectively. Following that, we will proceed to the mandate, strategic directions, and program of the PCO for fiscal year 2026. This section will highlight our major programs that support the Marcos administration's governance agenda and further strengthen our role as the primary communications arm of the Office of the President and the Executive Branch. We will then present the organizational structure of the PCO, the summary of our personnel complement. This is to emphasize that behind the programs and policies are the dedicated men and women of the office, the manpower who are tasked with carrying the PCO's mandate and delivering on its commitment. Ultimately, the budget we are presenting today is not just about figures, it's about enabling us to fulfill our mandate more effectively, ensuring responsible stewardship of public funds, and advancing our shared goal, an informed and empowered citizenry. Next slide, please. We ensure that the proposed budget to be presented here today will be consistent with the figures stated in the 2026 National Expenditure Program submitted by the President and the DBM to Congress last April 13, and that all programs, activities, and projects of the PCO are aligned with the priorities of the administration as embodied in the President's 8-point socioeconomic agenda, updated Philippine Development Plan, and the Budget Priority Framework for 2026. Next slide, please. All in all, the proposed budget of the PCO under fiscal year 2026 NEP, including financial subsidies of our attached government-owned and controlled corporations, amount to 2.808 billion pesos. This proposed budget is designed to strengthen the government's communications capacity at a time when clear, consistent, and transparent messaging is critical to sustain public trust and encouraging active citizen participation. It also supports the expanded functions of the PCO pursuant to Executive Orders number 2 and 11, Series of 2022, and Executive Order number 16, Series of 2023. In particular, the budget will enable us to ensure comprehensive media coverage of the presidential engagements, advance the citizens' right to access relevant government information, and leverage digital and emerging media platforms and institutionalize modern communications channels and feedback mechanisms. Next slide, please. The PCO's proposed budget for fiscal year 2026 represents only 0.041% of the National Expenditure Program, less than a fraction of 1% of the entire national budget. In fact, it is the lowest allocation among all department-level entities of government. Yet, despite this very modest share, the expectations placed upon us, the PCO, are broad and significant to inform, to engage, and to sustain government's vital communications link with the Filipino people. This stark imbalance between the magnitude of our mandate and the limited resources at our disposal underscores the extraordinary efficiency, innovation, and creativity required of the PCO to carry out its mission effectively. It also highlights how every peso entrusted to us will translate into a stronger connection between government and citizen, anchored on trust, transparency, and inclusivity. Next slide, please. Getting the lion's share of the proposed budget for next year among the regular national government agencies in the PCO family is the PCO proper, at an amount of 972 million pesos, or 38% of the said proposed allocation, followed by the Philippine Information Agency, or PIA, which has an allocation of almost 527 million pesos, or 21% of the total. This is followed by the Presidential Broadcast Service, Bureau of Broadcast Services, getting the third largest portion with 512 million pesos, or 20%. The said agencies have the top three biggest allocations in the PCO family because of the nature of their operations and projects. PCO proper implements the core and major communication strategies of the Palace and the Executive Branch, while the BBS operates various government radio stations nationwide. On the other hand, the PIA is in charge of the developmental communications at the grassroots level. Hence, they maintain regional and provincial offices to perform those functions. The Radio TV Malacanang, or RTVM, will get 254 million pesos or 10%, followed by the News and Information Bureau and the Bureau of Communications Services with proposed budgets of 163 million or 6% and 99 million pesos or 4% respectively. Lastly, the National Printing Office has a proposed share of about 1% only, as the amount is intended for the 1 month